Meanwhile, his party is demanding 4 things. 1, proof of life. 2, immediate family access. 3, medical access. And 4, a public statement from the government. None of that has happened yet.
वो पुलिस को क्योंकि इन्होंने हुक्म दिया हुआ है कि इनको आपने रोकना भी है और पुलिस जब मेरा ख्याल है उनको ये भी इजाजत दी हुई है कि आप जो मर्जी इनके साथ करें। ये पाकिस्तान में पहले कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ, कभी औरतों के साथ उन्होंने कभी किसी ने ऐसी बदतमीजी नहीं की और कभी उन्होंने ऐसा जुल्म किसी पे भी नहीं हुआ था। ये पहली दफा है पाकिस्तान में कि ना वो बच्चा देख रहे हैं, ना बूढ़ा देख रहे हैं और ना औरत देख रहे हैं या आदमी है, जो उनको इजाजत है कि जो भी उनको मिल जाए उसको आप वैसे ही मारें जैसे आपको कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है।
Now let's pause here for a minute. Imran Khan is not a saint. He has said terrible, reckless things about India. He's played dangerous political games. He has weaponized nationalism. He has attacked institutions. He has been part of Pakistan's troubled political culture. But here's the point. Even your worst critic deserves due process because that is what a democracy is built on. Look at India. Even Ajmal Kasab got a trial in India, even though he was a Pakistani terrorist behind one of the deadliest terror attacks in India. Even he got a trial. But then again, this is Pakistan we are talking about. They don't get democracy. They're doppelganging as a democracy. And now the facade is crumbling. A former prime minister is being held in a black hole without proof of life. So going back to the question we started with, where is Imran Khan? The fact is we don't know. And the fact that we don't know in a country of 240 million people with a government, a military, a judiciary and a media tells you everything you need to know about the state of Pakistan today.
Trying to be resuscitated.
2 days back, a shooting incident shook Washington, D.C. 2 American soldiers were ambushed by an Afghan. He shot at them, and now one of those soldiers has died.
This is a really bad crime. Millions of Americans are praying for those heroes and their families, and I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us.
The shooter was identified as Rahmanullah Lakhanwal. He is a 29-year-old Afghan refugee. He worked with the CIA in Afghanistan. He served with the US Army during the war against the Taliban. Then, when the Taliban came to power in Kabul, he fled to the United States. In 2024, he applied for asylum, and this year, he got it. 2 days ago, this man opened fire in Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump called it an act of terror. He has now launched a sweeping crackdown, one that goes far beyond America's security. Trump has ordered a quote-unquote permanent pause on immigration. He's calling for, and I'm quoting again, reverse migration, which means cancelling visas, cancelling green cards, and even revoking US citizenship. Trump is targeting what he calls third world countries. And which countries are on this list? Well, the president did not offer any details, but his order will affect nations which send the highest number of refugees to the US. Says who? Officials from his administration. This includes countries like Afghanistan, Somalia, Haiti, and the Sudan. And like I said, the crackdown is not limited to visas. Immigrants with green cards and even people with American citizenship are on the radar now. What's worse, the criteria are arbitrary. Trump says he wants, and I'm quoting again, he wants to strip green cards from non-assets. He's ordered checks on all green cards issued since 2021. He says immigrants who don't love America will be removed. Immigration officials have confirmed that a review is indeed underway, and the first set of people they're going after are Afghans. They're reassessing everyone who came to the United States since the fall of Kabul. That's more than 190,000 Afghans. They were admitted under the Biden administration. Most of them worked with the United States forces during the war. They helped the US in Afghanistan. So when the Taliban came to power, they were unsafe in Afghanistan. They applied for asylum or refugee status in the US. And now they face an uncertain future because everything is under review. Case files could be reopened, green card holders could face scrutiny, those waiting for a visa might struggle to get an interview. Because President Trump's order is sweeping and retrospective. Experts say it violates the US law, specifically the use of the term third world, because third world has no legal basis. It's a vague and outdated phrase. It's also racially charged. As problematic as it is, it's neither new nor surprising. This order comes from an old playbook. In his previous term as president, Trump ordered a travel ban. Immigrants from Muslim-majority nations were hit by that ban until the court struck it down. So now Trump is trying again. This time, he's trying it under the cover of national security. His administration is pushing for a permanent freeze on refugee resettlement, a denial of state benefits to non-citizens, and a review of all naturalized citizens. Naturalization is a legal process. It's when a non-national gains citizenship of a country. You come from another country, but you get the citizenship of the US. Someone who is not a citizen by birth, that is naturalization. Trump wants to review these cases too. He wants to reconsider citizenship of these people. Plus, he plans to challenge the concept of birthright citizenship. What does that mean? If you're born in a country, you get its citizenship automatically. That is birthright citizenship. The US president wants to challenge that too. This is his idea of reverse migration. He wants to use one shooting incident to carry out a nationwide purge. So this is not about seeking justice or putting the security of Americans first. This is about executing a political strategy and selling it as border control. Even if the courts strike it down, Trump's message is clear. Migrants are not welcome in America.
This is New.
Vanessa Windows, beautiful and durable designs. इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Find finer Finesta. Stay ahead with News 18. News from your city in your language. Real-time updates, in-depth analysis, and breaking news. Anytime, anywhere. Only on the News 18 app. Scan and download the News 18 app now. The all-new Hyundai Venue. Tech up, go beyond.
Vanessa Windows, beautiful and durable designs. इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Find finer Finesta.
हिंदुस्तान मिले हिंदुस्तान से. जय हो देश हो विदेश हो जेके हो.
देश का टायर, जेके टायर.
हेलो मोटो.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ. डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा. सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Long night?
You have no idea.
I got you.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro. Hello, Moto.
फिनिस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Find Finer Finesta. The all-new Hyundai Venue, take up, go beyond.
सल्यूट है जी, आप देश की रक्षा में जान लगा देते हैं और आप घर घर में तार लगाते हैं जी। ई बीम टेक्नोलॉजी से बनी, न जले न पिघले, सबकी रक्षा करे।
हम सरहद पर लोगों की रक्षा करते हैं और आप देश के अंदर। सल्यूट तो बनता है जी।
अपार अनुशक्ति फायर प्रोटेक्ट वायर, अपार देश का तार
रहता है। एंड थैंक यू सर। आपसे ट्रॉफी लेना वाज माय ड्रीम बिकॉज आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर जब भी हम टीम सेलेक्ट रहता है। एंड थैंक यू सर। आपसे ट्रॉफी लेना वाज माय ड्रीम बिकॉज आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर जब भी हम टीम सिलेक्शन मीटिंग्स करते थे, सर एक ही बात बोलते थे कि इस टीम को ट्रॉफी देनी है, इस टीम से ये टीम डिजर्व करती है ट्रॉफी रिसीव करना। एंड आई एम ग्लैड कि वो दिन आया और वो ट्रॉफी हम ले पाए। एंड थैंक्स टू एंटायर BCCI, एवरीबडी सिटिंग देयर। I know everyone put so much effort, and special thanks to Juludi and Mithalidi also. They also played a very big role in our life. Without their effort, it wasn't possible. And thank you once again.
Sir, you would like to say something? ट्रॉफी, ये टीम ट्रॉफी जीतने की हकदार है, एक ट्रॉफी और उनके नाम।
मैंने उसको कान में,
हाँ ऑन है सर, ऑन है।
मैंने उसको कान में एक ही बोला कि तेरे को 2024 की ट्रॉफी देनी, इससे सेटिस्फाइड मत हो जाना।
सर मैंने वही बोला, आई लव यहाँ पे चैंपियन लिखा रहता है और वो ट्रॉफीज मुझे रिसीव करते रहना है।
चैंपियंस लिखा रहता है, ट्रॉफीज रिसीव करते रहना है। मिताली, वुड यू लाइक टू से समथिंग एट दिस?
Who's the biggest power in Asia? According to one index, it is the United States of America. Yes, the country that is not in Asia. That piece of absurdity aside, this index is quite interesting. It is prepared by an Australian think tank. It is called the Asia Power Index. Let's look at the top 5. As I said, the US comes first. They have a score of 80.5. China is second with a score of 73.7. India is third with a score of 40. Japan is fourth with 38.8. And Russia is fifth with a score of 32.1. I know you're curious about a few others. Pakistan is ranked 16th with a score of 14.5. North Korea is 17th and Bangladesh stands 20th on this list. These scores are calculated on the basis of certain attributes, and each attribute has weightage. For example, economic capacity makes up 17.5%. Military capability is also 17.5%. Cultural influence is 10%, while economic relationships are 15%. So the rating is pretty comprehensive, and it's not just based on who has more guns, it's based on other factors too. Now let's get to the big takeaways. There's some great news for India in this list. In 2023, India was ranked 4th on the same index. Last year, we overtook Japan to reach the 3rd place, and still India was ranked as a middle power. If you score more than 10 on this index, you are a middle power. If you score above 40, you are a major power. If you score above 70, you're a superpower. So until last year, India was categorized as a middle power, but this year, India is a major power. And a big reason for that is Operation Sindoor. Let me quote from this report. This is what it says. These gains were from improved expert appraisals of India's capability, which were likely influenced by India's performance in Operation Sindoor. That's more validation for India's success and not the social media kind. That's the first takeaway. Takeaway number 2, American power is waning. Their score was 84.6 back in 2018, a full 10 points ahead of China. But look at the Americans now. Their score has fallen to 80.5 and China is less than 7 points behind them. It tells you how the regional balance is changing. The US announced a pivot to Asia in the last decade, but that pivot is not going well. Former President Joe Biden was bogged down in Ukraine. Current President Donald Trump is focused on the Caribbean. So American influence in Asia is waning. Which brings us to the third takeaway. China. China is not surging as expected. Yes, they're closing the gap with the United States, but that's because the US is slowing down, not because China is plowing on. Look at their numbers. China's score in 2018 was 74.5 on this index. This year, it is 73.7. Remember, this is not a reflection on China's military. It's a reflection on a lot of other factors. If you constantly harass your neighbors, you damage your relations. If you spy on others, you lose reputation. If you curb travel and trade, you lose reliability. Well, this is what happens to bullies. You may have the biggest stick in the room, but you don't have the matching influence. That is China's story. And India's challenge is a bit different. We have a growing military. We have warm historical ties in Asia. We have reliable policies. We have great soft power credentials. But are we using those attributes well? The Asia Power Index does not think so. Again, let me quote from what they've said. India's power in Asia continues to grow steadily but remains well below the potential of its resources. It's like the report card of that one child in school who has all the potential, who is friends with everyone, who is loved by teachers but is not topping the class. And frankly, we don't need a think tank to tell us that. India has always been destined for greater things. The question is, how do we achieve them? The military or the economy is not the issue for India. What we need to grow are relationships and links. And I'll give you some examples. A highway from India to Thailand was proposed in the year 2002. 23 years later, that highway is still not completed. Or look at the China-Philippines island dispute. Until 2023, India did not officially support Manila over Beijing. Or look at joint drills in the South China Sea. India first conducted them only in 2025, this year. So there's a lot of catching up to do. We have the resources, we have the power. Now it's a question of projecting it. Now let's talk about Pakistan and the UAE. They seem to be locked in a quiet standoff. A senior Pakistani official has made a big claim. He says the UAE has stopped issuing visas to Pakistani citizens. And he made that statement in front of the Senate, the Pakistani Senate. He said only diplomatic passport holders are getting approved. Although there is no formal ban, but the restrictions, it seems, are real. And the warning is serious. He says, and I'm quoting, the UAE and Saudi Arabia have stopped short of banning the Pakistani passport. And why is that? Because of Pakistanis being involved in criminal activity. That's what one of their senators has said. Another report says that some Pakistanis are traveling on short-term visas and then resorting to begging once they get there. So now Pakistani visa requests are being rejected. Travel agents are complaining. They say first-time visa approvals are down. Rejection rates are as high as 80%. Here's a report.
There's a problem between Pakistan and the UAE, a quiet but serious one. It began with a claim made by a top Pakistani official in Islamabad. Additional Interior Secretary Salman Chowdhury told a Senate committee this week The UAE has stopped issuing visas to Pakistanis. According to him, only blue and diplomatic passport holders are being approved right now. Tourist and private visit visas? Those are barely getting through. Salman Chowdhury went even further. He warned that the UAE and Saudi Arabia had stopped short of banning the Pakistani passport altogether. If a ban is imposed, getting it removed will be difficult, he said. That warning was echoed by another Pakistani senator. Her name is Samina Mumtaz Zairi. She heads the Senate Committee on Human Rights. According to her, there's only one reason for the visa slowdown: criminal concerns. Some Pakistanis are traveling to the UAE and engaging in illegal activities. A private party claimed begging is a growing concern for Emirati authorities. Leading Pakistani publications have carried this story. Soon after it came out, Pakistani newspaper Dawn published another story. It quoted an unnamed diplomat at the UAE embassy in Pakistan. There's no ban on visas for Pakistani citizens, he said. Instead, visa processes are being eased. So why are so many Pakistanis complaining about visa denials? Travel agents say rejections have surged, especially for first-time and single-entry applicants. Some reports put rejection rates as high as 70 to 80%. Those with family ties in the UAE fare better, but for new applicants, it's a tough call and a clear pattern. Visa approvals are falling, and silence from officials won't solve it. The UAE and Pakistan share deep ties. The Gulf state is a major trade partner. It's also home to over 1 million Pakistani workers. They send billions back home each year. This isn't the first time there is an issue over visas. In 2024, similar complaints had come to light. Back then, Pakistani newspapers had highlighted the stakes. $5 billion in annual remittances from the UAE. An opinion piece had highlighted few more risks: falling foreign exchange reserves, as well as household incomes that rely on expatriate earnings. There are also long-term risks. Without job creation at home and limited access abroad, Pakistan faces a triple blow: rising poverty, social unrest, and more economic uncertainty. That's why this issue matters, because if left unresolved, it could hurt Pakistan's ailing economy, especially Pakistanis who depend on the UAE for jobs and income. For now, they are clearly struggling to get visas, and facts are being buried under statements and denials.
Our next story is about nuclear power. For 6 decades, this sector remained closed in India. The government was the only player, but now they're opening it so that private companies can participate. And this is a monumental policy shift. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced it himself. Listen to this.
हम एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण सेक्टर में भी कदम उठाने जा रहे हैं. हम न्यूक्लियर सेक्टर को भी ओपन करने की तरफ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. इस सेक्टर में भी हम प्राइवेट सेक्टर की सशक्त भूमिका की नींव रखने जा रहे हैं. इससे स्मॉल मॉड्यूलर रिएक्टर, एडवांस रिएक्टर्स और न्यूक्लियर इनोवेशन में अवसर बनेंगे. यह रिफॉर्म हमारी एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी और टेक्नोलॉजिकल लीडरशिप को नई शक्ति देगा.
With this decision, India has entered a new club, a small list of countries which allow private companies in the nuclear sector. This list includes the US, the UK, Japan and South Korea, among others. And now India is joining them. The winter session of Parliament begins next week. That's when the government plans to introduce a bill, the Atomic Energy Bill of 2025. When passed, it will formally open the door to private participation. But why is this a big deal? And why does India need nuclear power? Let me break it down for you. India still relies heavily on coal. Coal generates more than 70% of our electricity. It is cheap, but it pollutes. It releases carbon dioxide, sulfur, and other harmful gases. Now, India has committed to net zero emissions by 2070, and to get there, it needs cleaner alternatives. And solar and wind farms are expanding, but they depend on the weather. Nuclear power is different. This is electricity made by splitting atoms. This may sound like your science class from school, but bear with me. Atoms are tiny particles that make up everything around us. Every solid, liquid, and gas is made of atoms, and inside each atom there is a core. This core is called the nucleus. When the nucleus is split, when there's a fission, it releases a large amount of heat. This heat boils water and produces steam. The steam spins a turbine. The turbine runs a generator. The generator produces electricity. This is power generated by nuclear fission. And this process creates steady power. It runs day and night. It can replace coal without sacrificing reliability, and it strengthens energy independence. Now, India already uses this technology, but we do it on a very small scale. It has at least 23 operational nuclear reactors, 23 reactors in the country. They're spread across India in Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh. Together, they produce about 8.8 gigawatts of electricity. Now, this is just 2 to 3% of India's total electricity. And all these reactors are run by one entity, which is called the NPCIL, the Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited. It has a full monopoly on nuclear power in the country thanks to a law that was passed in 1962. It's called the Atomic Energy Act. It allows only the central government and its companies to run nuclear plants in India. Private firms are not allowed. State governments are also not allowed. But now the centre wants to modernize this framework, and their urgency makes sense. You see, India wants 22 gigawatts of nuclear power by 2032 and 100 gigawatts by 2047. That is more than 10 times today's capacity. To meet these targets, you need speed, new technology, and fresh investment, and that is where private companies come in. Any company registered in India can apply for a license, build a reactor, and operate it. That's the idea. The government is also focusing on a new type of reactor, as the Prime Minister said, the small modular reactor. It's a factory-built, compact nuclear plant. It needs less land, less investment, and less time to be deployed. Of course, this shift comes with its own set of challenges, like liability. Who pays if there's an accident? Right now, the law puts heavy responsibility on the operator, but the government is reviewing it. The second challenge is fuel supply. India has the uranium, but not enough for large expansion. It already imports from Kazakhstan. It will need more processing capacity for future reactors. The third challenge is public trust. Nuclear power is safe when managed well. An accident can shake confidence. So what we need is transparent regulation and strong safety standards. And if India gets this right, the gains would be massive. You get stable power, lower emissions, and self-reliance. So this is no longer about just electricity. It's about India's future as a clean energy leader. You must have heard about drones in the sky. Fast and small, they rule today's battlefields. But there's another kind that you may not have heard of. These are drones under the sea. They're called submarine drones. These are autonomous systems that operate in total darkness. They move where radars cannot reach. They're quiet enough to shadow manned submarines for days. No wonder countries are pouring billions into developing them, and defense firms are battling for dominance. This is not science fiction, it's happening as we speak. Our next report takes you inside this race under the sea.
You may have seen drones in the sky. Small, fast. They are everywhere on the battlefield, from Ukraine to the India-Pakistan conflict this year. But another kind of drone is rising. It moves where there is no light. It travels where radio signals fade. And it works in a world that humans find hardest to control. This is the age of underwater drones, and it could change modern warfare again. Underwater drones are autonomous systems that can travel long distances below the surface. They can monitor power cables. They can watch over telecom lines. They can scan for mines. And they can follow submarines that rarely come up. The idea is not new. During the Cold War, countries built early remote underwater vehicles for mine clearance and deep-sea tasks. They were slow. They were limited, but they showed that machines could operate beneath the surface. Today, the technology has advanced, and the world around it has changed too. Pipelines have been damaged, telecom cables have been cut, and nations now understand how exposed their underwater networks are. That vulnerability has triggered a wave of investment, and it is happening across continents. Countries are turning these drones from prototypes into frontline tools. In Europe, Germany has developed the Grey Shark. It is a mid-sized underwater drone that can reach 10 knots and travel more than 1,000 nautical miles. It can operate for 5.5 days. Its engineers built a hydrogen system because batteries were not enough. 2 European governments have already ordered it for $116 million. And Europe is not alone. The same urgency is visible across the Indo-Pacific. Australia is developing Ghost Shark. It is being built with the US firm Anduril. Canberra has committed $1.7 billion. The drone is designed for deep-water surveillance and anti-submarine missions. The United Kingdom is also expanding its underwater fleet. The Royal Navy wants uncrewed vehicles to guard pipelines and data cables. Across the Atlantic, the United States is scaling up too. It is investing in several autonomous undersea projects. And on the other side of the world, Russia is boosting its own capabilities. Last month, President Vladimir Putin said the nuclear-powered Poseidon drone had completed a major test. This growing demand has created a new defense industry. Traditional firms like BAE Systems, Boeing, and General Dynamics reportedly want to lead it. Newer companies like Anduril and Helsing say they can deliver faster and cheaper. Governments want drones that can stay at sea for weeks. They want sensors that can watch the seabed without being detected. And they want scale that manned submarines cannot provide. Underwater drones once lived in the background. Today, they are moving to the center of global defense, quietly, consistently, and deeper with every mission.
This
रहता है एंड थैंक यू सर आपसे ट्रॉफी लेना वाज माय ड्रीम बिकॉज आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर जब भी हम टीम सिलेक्शन मीटिंग्स करते थे सर एक ही बात बोलते थे कि इस टीम को ट्रॉफी देनी है इस टीम से ये टीम डिजर्व करती है ट्रॉफी रिसीव करना एंड आई एम ग्लैड कि वो दिन आया और वो ट्रॉफी हम ले पाए एंड थैंक्स टू एंटायर बीसीसीआई एवरीबडी सिटिंग देयर I know everyone put so much effort, and special thanks to Juludi and Mithalidi also. They also played a very big role in our life. Without their effort, it wasn't possible. And thank you once again.
Sir, you would like to say something? ट्रॉफी ये टीम ट्रॉफी जीतने की हकदार है, एक ट्रॉफी और उनके नाम।
मैंने उसको कान में,
हाँ ऑन है सर, ऑन है।
मैंने उसको कान में एक ही बोला कि तेरे को 2024 की ट्रॉफी देनी, इससे सेटिस्फाइड मत हो जाना।
सर मैंने वही बोला, आई लव यहाँ पे चैंपियन लिखा रहता है और वो ट्रॉफीज मुझे रिसीव करते रहना है।
चैंपियंस लिखा रहता है, ट्रॉफीज रिसीव करते रहना है। मिताली, वुड यू लाइक टू से समथिंग एट दिस मोमेंट? 2017 you people are like icons, पता है, पर आपको वो स्टारडम जो डिजर्व करते थे आप वो नहीं मिला, क्योंकि तब जैसा नहीं थे, है ना?
वही सवाल था सर, आप पहले क्यों नहीं आए? But I think huge credit to him. He is the man who's sort of revolutionized women's cricket since the time he took over as a secretary of BCCI. We've seen pay equity and then WPL, and he's commercialized it. He's just not start a league, he's commercialized it. We've seen so many stories and players coming out of those leagues, and the result is for everybody to see. So a huge credit to him.
ये स्वैग का क्रेडिट किसको है हरमनप्रीत? ये जो आउटफिट है, कल ही मैंने देखा नीता जी के साथ भी आपका फोटो वायरल हो गया, ये कहाँ से ये सब?
सर सच बता दूं सर, 5 मिनट पहले रेडी होकर आई हूँ सर।
Julandi, you want to say something? I mean, it was a special moment when, in the ground, all of you were there and the team honored you also. The moment, we all saw that viral moment where, you lifted the cup. What was that moment like for you?
I think, first of all, thank you so much. Congratulations to Harman and Jai sir, because I still remember when we retired from international cricket, Jai sir take the responsibility.
She was there.
Yeah, no, I said when we retire, and that time I think Harman and we always discussed that we wanted to win the cup, win the trophy, but both of us were played the final but could not cross that final line. Yeah. But this time, where they prepared, the support from the BCCI
रहता है, and thank you sir. आपसे ट्रॉफी लेना was my dream, because I still remember जब भी हम टीम सिलेक्शन मीटिंग्स करते थे, सर एक ही बात बोलते थे कि इस टीम को ट्रॉफी देनी है, इस टीम से ये टीम डिजर्व करती है ट्रॉफी रिसीव करना, एंड आई एम ग्लैड कि वो दिन आया और वो ट्रॉफी हम ले पाए, एंड थैंक्स टू एंटायर BCCI, एवरीबडी सिटिंग देयर. I know everyone put so much effort, and special thanks to Juludi and Mithalidi also. They also played a very big role in our life. Without their effort, it wasn't possible. And thank you once again.
Sir, you would like to say something? ट्रॉफी ये टीम ट्रॉफी जीतने की हकदार है, एक ट्रॉफी और उनके नाम।
मैंने उसको कान में,
हाँ ऑन है सर, ऑन है।
मैंने उसको कान में एक ही बोला कि तेरे को 2024 की ट्रॉफी देनी, इससे सेटिस्फाइड मत हो जाना।
सर मैंने वही बोला, आई लव यहाँ पे चैंपियन लिखा रहता है और वो ट्रॉफीज मुझे रिसीव करते रहना है।
It's been a year of crashes so far. Google services have crashed, Amazon services have crashed, X and Meta have crashed. So Netflix thought, why should I be left behind? This week, the streaming platform dropped one of its most popular series, Season 5 of Stranger Things, and on cue, Netflix crashed. Thousands of users reported a frozen screen. Take a look at the meme fest that followed. Last week, we unveiled our new series, a special 5-part show called The Dictator. A lot of you enjoyed the first episode on Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein, and tomorrow we are bringing you the second one. This is a man who was called the Mad Dog of the Middle East. He ruled his country for 40 years before being ousted and murdered on the streets. This is the story of Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. Catch it exclusively on First Post's YouTube channel on Saturday, 8 p.m. IST. And now it's time for Vantage Shots, images that tell the story. Pope Leo struggles to unveil a plaque commemorating his visit to Turkey. An entire city made of gingerbread pops up in London ahead of Christmas, and majestically adorned pink elephants march through Bangkok to honor the late Thai Queen Mother. Finally, we're taking you back in history. On this day in 1943, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Winston Churchill and Joseph Stalin met in Tehran. This was to plan how to win World War II and shape the post-war peace. Tehran was chosen because it was a crucial supply route for the Allies to reach the Soviet Union. We're leaving you on that note. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend.
By the three greatest nations fighting Germany to reach common ground and understanding, to act as allies should, to deliver the most telling blows at the enemy in the most vital places at the right time. These pictures stand for the hope that we all feel that doubt and suspicion on which tragedy and bloodshed feed should be removed once for all. The man in the street does not expect to know what is said in the secret consultations of
Ladies and gentlemen, now to commence this remarkable evening, please welcome Managing Editor, CNN News 18, Zaka Jacob.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of CNN News 18, India's #1 English news channel, it is my honor and my great privilege to welcome you all to the 15th edition of the CNN News 18 Indian of the Year 2025. The Indian of the Year Awards honor individuals who have shaped the nation's journey through their exceptional achievements over the past year. This year, under the theme India's Invincible Icons, the spotlight is on change makers who have touched lives, they have sparked hope, and they have inspired millions. Since its inception in 2006, the Indian of the Year Awards have been the gold standard of credibility in news television, celebrating those who inspire ordinary Indians to dream bigger, aim higher, and move the nation forward. The winners are chosen through a very careful thoughtful and deliberate evaluation process that's carried out by an elite jury of some of India's most respected thought leaders, many of whom are here with us tonight. The esteemed jury this year includes the former Chief Justice of India, Mr. D.Y. Chandrachud, Indu Malhotra, retired Judge of the Supreme Court of India, Mr. Prasoon Joshi, the Chairperson of the Central Board for Film Certification and also CEO of McCann Worldwide Group. We also have Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, Senior Lawyer and former Member of Parliament, Sanjeev Goenka, who is the Chairman of the RPSG Group, Professor Shanti Sri Pandit, Vice Chancellor of the Jawaharlal Nehru University, Mr. Amitabh Kant, former CEO of the Niti Aayog, Shefali Shah, award-winning actor, Sanjeev Bikhchandani, Founder and Executive Vice Chairman of InfoEdge, Gagan Narang, Indian shooter and Olympic medalist, and Lara Datta, award-winning actor, who are all part of this year's jury of Indian of the Year Awards 2025, and many of them are here with us tonight. So can we have a round of applause for our jury members who've painstakingly gone through these award categories. This year there were broadly 8 categories on which there were 5 nominees for each of those categories, a broad spectrum from entertainment to influencer to sports, global Indian, iconic women achiever, climate warrior. Each of these categories, like I said, had 5 nominees. It was a remarkable process through which the jury had to elaborately go through the pluses and the minuses of each of these nominees and arrive at the conclusion for each of these categories. In fact, the nominees themselves are stellar in the work that they have done, not just in 2025, but across what they've done in their careers. It includes legends like Mr. Mohan Lal. It also includes heartthrobs like Rashmika Mandana, Arijit Singh, Jerry Pahlawat, Ananya Pandey, Zakir Khan, Raj Shamani, you name it, the who's who, whether it's in the world of sports or cinema or global achiever, the biggest names were part of the nominee list this year. The winners were chosen for the impact that they have made through their talent, through their dedication, to their hard work, and the recognition that they have brought for India. Together, these nominees embody the very spirit of India's invincible icons that the CNN News 18 Indian of the Year proudly celebrates tonight. Let me also take this opportunity to remind you about CNN News 18, India's #1 English news channel, not yesterday or day before, but for the last 160 weeks plus and still going strong. So thank you very much to all our viewers here in our audience tonight.